Hello Tooms, and welcome to a very niche video where I talk you through how I've managed to set up um, the Wootility app for the Wooting 60HE to be able to use the incredible gamepad analog feature to basically control your walking speed and driving speed. Cyberpunk specifically. You probably tweak this for other games that have kind of driving and shooting and um, walking, like GTA, like open world video games, I guess, like Fallout and stuff like that. Probably use this for that as well. You might have to tweak some of it because the key bindings and buttons for different actions will be different for different games. But obviously, this is specific to Cyberpunk. This setup. So this is how I've done it. If you haven't already, go ahead and download Wootility, launch it, and create a new profile. And one I've called it Cyberpunk slash FPS. Lighting doesn't matter. This is just what I have for it. And then for performance, what you want to do is set your actuation point to basically whatever you want. The rapid profile has it as 0.4, which is kind of meant to be the like high performance FPS gaming setting. So that's what I have it on for as my global setting. And then what you want to do is set per key actuation. So you want to click set per key actuation. Um, and then hit Q, W, E, A, S, and D and set them to 4. I guess that's minimum. Um, so that's everything for this page. I have rapid trigger turned on as well. Sensitivity. These settings are just taken from the rapid profile, to be honest. But yeah, just copied it from that. And then remap, I don't do anything. Advanced, I don't do anything. And then for gamepad mapping, this is how you want to set it up. So to be able to do this, have to left click on the key you want to bind and then left click again on the gamepad button that you want to bind it to. If you mess anything up, don't worry, you can just right click and it will set the key back to the default. B, so this is how you want to set it up. Tab as B, WASD as your movement, left stick, obviously left, up, down, right. Corresponding to the WASD, how you would have it, and then left trigger as Q and right trigger as E, which we only for driving. We don't use these keys for shooting the mouse. But we'll get into that. I'll do a little demo of the gameplay in a second. And then R is X, LB and RB are F and G, up, left, down, and right are H, V, B, and N. Select is M, and then start is I. You can obviously tweak any of this if you want. This is just how I have it. Left joystick is left shift. Alt is Y, and then space is A. And then I have keyboard keys turned off. So what this means is your normal keyboard keys won't work. Only the gamepad keys will work. So it essentially turns your keyboard into an Xbox controller. So if you try and type, already hear me typing, nothing happens. So the downside of that is you can't alt tab out of the game once you're in it because your keyboard keys aren't going to work. That's the only thing that I find annoying about this. But you want to have it on to avoid any potential issues um, with the binding UI and stuff like that. So yeah, and then gamepad mapping override is grayed out because you have your keyboard keys turned off. So what that does is essentially means that you can use your keyboard keys apart from the ones that you've mapped to controller buttons. But I don't really see the point of that, so I just that off. Then gamepad response, you can use that to test everything's working. So WASD is working. So if you see if I slightly tap it, it slightly moves. Same with right trigger and left trigger for driving. And then I have angle adjustment on as well, which basically just lets you move diagonally if you press like W and A or W and D or S and A and S and D. And then I just keep it at the default 45. You can mess with that if you want. So that's the setup. Let's get into the game. Kind of demo it. I'll be video. I'm not going to do any editing on this because it's just going to be low effort, so skip through. Just going to have to wait a sec while the game loads up. Probably should have downloaded a mod that skips the start screen, but oh. It was really for this intro screen to be this long. Right, so for here you can either press tab, which is your B button, or you can press space. Either works. But for this screen you have to press I. Nothing else will work. You have to press I. So I'll just load up this save.
Feels great to have you back. So then, did you all hear about that Arasaka aircraft carrier docked
And then again you can press space or tab to get through here. So we'll load it up. I guess I'll show you driving first, and then we'll do combat. So if I press N to spawn in my car, which is mapped now to right D-pad button, and then you need to press R to get in, which is your X button. And if you want to mess with the radio, to hold G. And then you can use the mouse scroll wheel, or you can use H and B. I just use the scroll wheel because it's easier. If you want to turn it up and down, that's V and N. And then obviously space, turn it off, and then tab to exit. So your accelerator is on E, so if you like hardly tap E, it's gonna very slowly accelerate, which is really nice. That's kind of the whole point of this. And then you can use N, change your V. And then same with reverse, you just slightly tap Q. You can do it slow, or you press it down. Full, and you do it fast. Same with accelerate. So the driving is quite finicky. It's not great, to be honest. Like if I'm driving at high speed, I pretty much only use handbrake or braking and turning, because if you try at high speed to like quickly brake and turn at the same time, it's just really finicky and annoying. I just stick with space, and you might have to kind of adjust your hand positioning on the keyboard to kind of make it work. But as you can see, I'm driving okay. Like you can use brake, it's just you can't really accelerate, brake, and steer at the same time because you just don't have enough fingers. But you know, it works to an extent. So yeah, that's driving. If we open up we open up the map, and we'll just go and get into some combat. So I'm just gonna, for the sake of keeping this video short, I'm gonna drive at full speed. But obviously if I was playing the game normally, to be doing that because I want to make use of these settings for immersion. I'm still kind of getting used to it. I've not been using it that long, so I'm not that great at driving yet, but I will get there. Okay, I don't want to do that, but that's gonna just want it. It's just really difficult to brake and accelerate at the same time, but I mean that's just a sacrifice you're gonna have to make if you variable acceleration. And then to get out of the car, you now need to hold tab. And then combat works pretty much as normal, so I guess one other thing I need to show you is a couple of key bindings. If you don't have additional mouse buttons, so if you don't have mouse button 4 and 5, this setup isn't as good because you have to use tab to dodge, which is just not good, to be honest. Like it's really hard to sprint directions and press tab to dodge at the same time. So what I do is I change my key bindings so that dodge is mouse button 4 and scan is mouse button 5, or scan toggle. So you can scan by holding F, which is LB, or you can just tap the mouse button to toggle it. You have to tap it once, which is really nice. And then dodge is the other mouse button, which is just a lot easier to use than tab. And to be honest, this setup only really works if you have those additional mouse buttons. So yeah, that's, and then obviously all of your combat bindings are obviously aim is just with your mouse and shoot is with your mouse. You can use Q and E to aim now if you want, but I won't. I have the police on me, that's really annoying. But yeah, so crouch is C, so you can slide. R is reload. Grenade is G. Hold it for a grenade. G. LA is F, so if you hold F, scanner, tap it, punch. You might notice the UI kind of changes when you move the mouse around to aim. There's nothing you can do to fix that. That just is what it is. Obviously the UI isn't going to match your bindings anyway, because the game thinks you're using a controller, so you just have to use muscle memory to know what buttons to press, what keys to press, sorry. It's just kind of a limitation of this setup. There's about that, to be honest. But yeah, so you can see I was driving okay. I mean, I'm still getting used to it, so I'm not great at driving with this setup yet, but I'm sure I'll get better the more I play it. And then combat is just like absolutely fine. The bindings that I have make combat nice and easy pretty much. So I'll just try and do this real quick and show you the menu navigation. The H is heal as well. Maybe I'll just cut this part of the video if I remember to. I guess this is an excuse to show off my sick driving skills.
Remains in the vicinity.
How do I holster weapon is B, so that's tab. Okay. Like crash into a wall. Yeah, sometimes you might have to just like remember what you've bound things to in certain situations, but I'll try and show you most of it. Tab, get out of the car. The menu navigation, you hold V to open your phone, and then press F, switch between messages and contacts. Use your scroll wheel to scroll through them. Press space to phone people. And then I'll show you dialogue as well, actually. Text is not going to be awesome. So let's turn the radio off as well. I'll show you that. So turn the radio off, you press V. And you hold V, you do as you would in the car. Kind of that. And then obviously I've already showed you N is calling your car. And then, so let's show dialogue real quick. If I, Jackie, he will actually talk to me. And if you want to do messages, messages, I use B to go down. Messages is X, so what's that, R? Yeah, R, and then you press tab to come back. So yeah, let's phone Jackie. So for dialogue, you can use E and H to scroll through, but I just use the mouse wheel because it's easier, and then you press R, make your choice.
Been a while, huh?
Yeah, about a
And then
year.
if you want to skip dialogue,
Why?
which you can't do on phone
Just
calls,
asking.
but if you want to skip
Never
it
thought you
in
last that
normal
long in a
dialogue,
stable, healthy
it's
relationship.
Hey, come on,
left
mano.
on
You
the
know I was
D-pad,
raised
which
right.
is V. So it's V to skip dialogue.
All right, I'm out. Take care.
And that is
Yeah,
pretty much
you too.
everything. Your menu is M, the save and load and stuff, and press tab to come out. And your sort of tween menu, I. So you can, that's your cyberware inventory stuff. And that is pretty much it. That's my setup for the Wooting keyboard Cyberpunk. For watching, it helped someone in the world. Yeah, cheers.